Mercantilism is all about the gold. Imagine Europe in the 1500s through 1700s. The big economic idea of the time was mercantilism. All the countries were obsessed with stockpiling gold and silver. The more precious metals you had, the richer and more powerful you were. The cash cow. Colonies were like a dream come true for mercantilist countries. They were seen as endless sources of raw materials, sugar, cotton, timber, you name it, that could be shipped back to the home country and turned into valuable finished products. Then, these products could be sold back to the colonies and to other countries, bringing in even more gold and silver. It was a win-win for any colonizer, but not so much for the colonized. Protectionism and monopolies. Mercantilist governments were focused on protecting their own industries and keeping foreign competition out. They slapped tariffs on imported goods and gave their own companies special privileges, similar to how people play Monopoly, where one company gets to control the whole market for a product. This was all designed to ensure that the money kept flowing back to the home country. Industrial Revolution. Now, let's fast forward a bit to the 1700s. The Industrial Revolution was taking off in Britain, and it was a total game changer. Factories popped up everywhere, powered by steam engines and later electricity. This created a huge demand for raw materials to feed the machines, and also a need for new markets to sell all the stuff these factories were churning out. The resource vault and captive market. Colonies became super important for fueling the Industrial Revolution. They provided all the raw materials European industries needed, like cotton for clothes, rubber for tires, and minerals for everything else. But that's not all. They also became captive markets, forced to buy manufactured goods from Europe. This meant even more profit for the colonial powers. Technology as a weapon. The Industrial Revolution also gave European powers a massive technological advantage over many non-Western societies. They had better weapons, ships, and ways to communicate. This made it easier to conquer and control territories, and it also fueled a sense of superiority among Europeans who often justified colonialism by saying they were bringing progress and civilization to the backward parts of the world. The ugly truths: resource extraction and the human cost. Okay, so we have talked about how colonialism made European countries rich and powerful, but what about the people in the colonies? Well, for them, it was often a total nightmare, trashing the environment. The rush to extract resources led to widespread environmental destruction. Forests were cut down, mines were dug, and natural resources were depleted at an alarming rate. This had a lasting impact on the ecosystems and the people who depended on them for their livelihoods. Forced labor and exploitation. In many colonies, indigenous people were forced to work in horrible conditions, often for little or no pay. They were treated like property, not people. This caused immense suffering and disrupted traditional ways of life. Unfair trade. Even when trade happened between colonies and European powers, it wasn't a fair deal. Colonies provided valuable raw materials but got stuck with overpriced and sometimes poorly made manufactured goods in return. This system kept the colonies dependent and prevented them from developing their own economies. As you can see, economics was a major driving force behind colonialism, but it wasn't the only one. European powers also tried to control and change the societies they colonized.